Recipe boxes are becoming increasingly popular as our lives get busier. But are they actually worth it? Or are they not as convenient as they at first appear? We went for 3 of the biggest on the market to find out. Firstly was Gusto. We didn't actually get very far the sign-up process at all. We would add the meals to our basket, input our card details, but then we couldn't click to confirm the order button. This was obviously a bug in their coding, but when we tried to contact them, they said they couldn't resolve the issue without knowing our account information, but we couldn't complete signing up for the account because of the bug. So in the end, we just gave up as we were getting nowhere with their customer service team. Let's hope that they've since managed to fix this pesky bug. Next was Mindful Chef. The sign-up process was pretty straightforward for them. I simply had to choose the amount of people we wanted food for, so we went for 2. We picked our meals and created an account, and we were good to go. Mindful Chef do have the option to have meals for 1 though, which the likes of Gusto and HelloFresh don't offer as of yet. We chose to have it delivered on a Monday. It arrived and it was left in reception, which we were pleased about as we've all heard the stories of boxes being left outside in the rain. The box was a good size and it wasn't heavy, so I could easily carry it into the kitchen. Mindful Chef was also well packaged and organised. However, when we got the food out, we did comment on the use of plastic and how a lot of the fruit and veg were in single-use plastics when paper bags really could have been used instead. Now onto the cooking. The portions for Mindful Chef were very good, with smaller portions of carbs than protein. It's also worth noting that they didn't provide refined carbs such as white rice and white pasta, and all of their recipes are gluten and dairy-free too. They also state on their website that the meals are between 450 and 650 calories each. This makes the recipes feel healthier and more mindful of both health and fitness and the environment. Both the recipes we got tasted good. They felt healthy and didn't require too many pans of utensils to be made. However, we did find the instructions a little bit harder to follow. There were no photos and some of the instructions were a little bit bulky. It felt like they could have broken it down into smaller, easier steps to follow. So because of this, we felt it took a little bit longer to make the meals. The recipes also come in a booklet, which seems kind of wasteful if it's sent out every time. Now to see if the 1-person meals were worth it, I just added 3 random ones to my basket. It ended up being £11 per portion, which is so expensive. It's definitely cheaper to get the meals for 2 and have leftovers for dinner or lunch the next day. The next company we ordered from was HelloFresh. Their sign-up process was a bit confusing as it seemed as though it automatically selected your recipes rather than you being able to choose them yourself. However, once you get through to the recipe section, you can opt out to swap the ones that they've chosen for you and for ones that you prefer. It's also slightly annoying that you have to put in your address and payment details before picking the recipes. Mindful Chef is the other way around to this and lets you select your recipes first, which is a lot simpler and allows you to decide whether you actually want to sign up first. When we eventually got through to the recipes, 3 was a wide range, including ones that are compatible with Weight Watchers' diet. Once again, we selected to have a box delivered on a Monday, and it was left in reception for us. However, similarly to Mindful Chef, there was a lot of plastic that contained our food, which could have been paper instead. However, the paper was recyclable, including the paper for the packaging of the rice, which was made out of mostly recycled paper. We also felt that everything was sort of shoved in the box and the recipe cards were crumpled, while Mindful Chef was a lot better packaged and a lot neater. Onto the food itself. So the portion sizes were really decent, but we noticed there were more or larger portions of carbs than protein, which is obviously the opposite to Mindful Chef. So the meals themselves were varied and tasted great, to the extent that we couldn't pick a favourite of HelloFresh and Mindful Chef on the taste. The recipes themselves were easy to follow than Mindful Chef. There were photos and steps were broken into smaller, easier to follow steps so we could easily follow them whilst we were filming. Onto the prices for both of them. I've already touched on Mindful Chef's more expensive 1-person meals, but how much was it for the 2-person meals? We got a discount on our first order from them, so it was £18.21 instead of £28. That means it would ordinarily have been at £7 per portion, which is quite expensive and definitely more than we'd normally spend on cooking a meal. HelloFresh was cheaper, it was £31.98 altogether, or £5.33 per serving, and for this one we got 3 meals instead of 2. And there are normally discounts off your first box when you sign up to make it even cheaper. But was Mindful Chef really worth the extra £1.77 a portion? when you look back at the business, they do provide one meal to a child living in poverty for every meal that you buy. And they have many mindful goals, such as being net zero by 2030. If you're wanting to keep a check on your fitness and enjoy exercising but struggle with the cooking side of things, as many people do, then Mindful Chef is definitely a better option for you. This isn't saying HelloFresh is bad, we really enjoyed their box, but we do believe the £1.77 per portion to know that the meals are healthier and the money is going to help others through their One Feeds 2 campaign. However, the price for one person is definitely extortionate, so we'd recommend just buying for 2 and having meals over 2 days to make the portion significantly cheaper. It was a close call regarding which we preferred, as HelloFresh was a lot easier and cheaper, but we like how Mindful Chef gives back to the community and focuses on health. If you've got a little bit extra money to spend, Mindful Chef is definitely the best option, but HelloFresh will easily and happily fill you up for a far cheaper price.